We usually bleed on people who didn't cut us. When you're no longer connected with yourself, you need to stop. Because I believe that self-alignment is the balance of allowing you to pour yourself into others.
Yes.
When you realize that you have nothing else to pour, you have to stop. The danger is ignoring your own signals that say emotionally you are empty, spiritually you are empty, mentally you are empty.
Stop.
And you keep going. Once those lights are off the dashboard of your life, that there's nothing to pour, stop.
Wow.
What is killing pastors is that they are pouring from empty spiritual tanks. What is killing medical doctors is that they are pouring from empty emotional tanks. This cuts across. This cuts across. So once you realize that you are empty, stop. Because you are now pouring out of forbidden reservoirs. And that is when you start to malfunction. That is when you start to bleed on people who didn't cut you. That is when you start expressing on people who you should not. I always tell leaders that the worst thing for a leader to do is to bleed on your post. Once you start seeing blood trails in your leadership, stop. Once you see those blood prints, stop. In Kiinga, we ignore essential signals. And they are there. I don't even call them red flags. They are green light. They are red flashing lights in ambulance.
They're maroon. They're so
They're
obvious.
maroon. It's an ambulance. That's no longer a red flag. That is an ambulance.
Sure.
And we ignore that. I've seen myself where there was nothing to pour, but I was preserving my title. The preservation of the title literally sometimes makes you end up trading in the forbidden. Even a plane, they'll take land, you no longer have the fuel to continue. And yet when you think you have the fuel to continue in human service, in counseling, in healing, no. When the signal says, the gauge says empty, you stop. You stop. You have to.